Hello everyone and welcome. I am Allie, and today we're gonna do, I think, what I'm calling coffee chats. We're gonna have our coffee on Sunday mornings and we're gonna talk about what I've been reading, what my writing situation has been like going on, maybe what my upcoming TBR is, basically all things books, whether they're from the reading or writing perspective. So let's just hang. I myself have an oat latte. I am so used to having a script that I find myself a little perplexed and overwhelmed. So if we're something I want to try and do, I feel like so often I come in with a very specific story that I want to tell you guys, and I want, to have my words be precise and sound elegant. And sometimes I just want to hang out with you and talk about the things that I'm really enjoying and currently obsessing over, and not feel like I need to, I don't know, do this polished, perfect thing. Let's just hang out. So right now I'm currently reading I cannot talk. Right now I'm currently reading The Priory of the Orange Tree. It's by Samantha Shannon. I am literally obsessed with it. I think it was like the first 10 chapters overwhelmed the living crap out of me because it's so much world building, telling you who the characters are, explaining the geopolitics, who is what, and then there's like a lot of court drama, so you're trying to keep track of all the names. But I think it was like chapter 15 or 16, I started to get really attached to two characters, and then everything just went haywire. This book is a roller coaster and a half. It's over 800 pages. I think I've been reading it for like 2 weeks. I'm doing a buddy read with my friend Becca from Bookstagram. We are almost done. We're on page 663 out of, I think it's like 820, no, it's like 800. So we are very close to finishing this, which I'm really excited about. If I could give you, let's see. So someone in my Discord, if you guys aren't a part of that, the link is in the description if you want to join. I was basically convincing one of my Discord members, yo, read this book. And he asked, he basically said, what is it like in his head? Is it more like Game of Thrones, but with more fantasy? This is how I convinced him. So if you are curious, a little intimidated by the page length, this is how I'm gonna get you on board. Okay, there are good and bad dragons. There are different religions that affect how the regions are ruled. There are different nations that do not have a united front, so there's a lot of politics happening. Romance, but it's not heavy like SJM. We still love her romance, it's not as heavy is the point I'm making. There's a draconic plague. There is hearsay on history about what's true and what's not, and that is also true in the present day because a lot of these kingdoms are not all on a united front. They have very different opinions on what is and what isn't. Only some people have magic, and I think it's a really cool magic system. I'm still being surprised the whole time I'm reading it. There is a ticking clock. There is multiple POV, and it's all in third person. And I said it definitely gives Game of Thrones vibes because it is a wild roller coaster. I feel like almost every 200 pages, something insane happens. I think it was around like the 500 page where the most insane thing happened that I did not expect. Samantha is so good at building rich worlds and keeping the pace going while building up a plot and giving her characters such beautiful, rich arcs. I'm obsessed to the point that I went to Barnes & Nobles the other day and bought A Day of Fallen Night. This is technically the prequel that came out in, I believe it was this year. This one came out first in 2019, and I think I read online that she had only planned to do one book, and then she did this one, again, the prequel, and there's a third one coming out soon, which is really exciting. It's called The Roots of Chaos, which I actually like because it's definitely tied into the magic system, which is a huge part of the book, which is really cool. So that's kind of what I'm currently obsessing over in my reading right now. When I finish this book though, I have a fun little project for myself. This book is The Lost Girls of Paris by Pam Janoff. This was the book that got me back into reading when I first started my channel. It's historical fiction. It is an emotional roller coaster. It is so vivid. And one of my really good friends who I met from Bookstagram, she told me how she annotates books for her friends for presents, whether it's for their birthday or for Christmas. And so I really want to do that for her. I am gonna make a video about how I annotate because I know some of you have asked in the Discord kind of like, what's the point of annotating? how do you do it, why, all that sort of stuff. I think it's fun, and I'm really excited to do that for her. So it has about a little over 300 pages, so I'm hoping I can get this done in a week, because I'm still debating. We have the new Crescent City book coming out at the end of January, which I pre-ordered, and I'm basically, once that comes out, I'm gonna drop everything for it. I still need to get through Throne of Glass, but do I want like a week of where I get one more book ticked off that's not TOG? Because I know once I start TOG, I won't be able to read anything else besides when Crescent City 3 comes out. So I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm thinking I might want to do, Nora Roberts has a fantasy. It's set in like our modern world, so it has dragons, if you can't tell. It has a theme right now. So maybe thinking about that, also thinking about Legendborn. Not really sure. I do want a smaller fantasy. It seems to be all I'm reading are the biggest books in the world right now. So we'll see what I'm sort of in the mood and driving for. Let me know in the comments what you are currently reading right now and maybe what you think you're gonna pick up next. Especially because we're going into the holiday season. I think I might get the audiobook for A Court of Frost and Starlight to have like a holiday read. I read A Guitar for the first time last year, so that was very special to have that during Christmas. Writing this week has been a bit insane. I'm at 21,000 words. I hit 20,000, I think it was last week. So why have I been sitting in the 1,000 this past week, even though I've written like 3 or 4 times? I think I've rewritten this past scene, I think 4 times now. Sometimes I'm like, why did I decide to write a fantasy alley? I knew it was gonna be hard. I just don't think I imagined it being like this hard, because there's a lot of things that I want to do, and I'm a bit overwhelmed right now. So basically, I created this really cool magical library that's run by my Marrows. It's underwater. I was really excited in building that out. And then I was like, oh, would this be a good opportunity to have sort of a important plot moment drop, kind of as a hint for the readers to build up the mystery. Also a way to give lore out and sort of, because it's a mystery to my character, thus it'll be a mystery to the readers. And I just had no idea, because I feel like sometimes when you're writing and you're trying to get a specific thing out for the plot, you can maybe forget about who your characters are, what their voices are, their mannerisms, their tics, or you're trying to do that while you're also trying to make sure you're like, how much of the plot do I share? How much do I not? Oh, I didn't world build this moment, so I need to go back and world build that. There was a lot of math happening because I decided to have all immortal creatures in my world, and now I understand why people do humans, because it allows this nice comparison. It was a very interesting experience. I believe I know where I'm going after this. I think I just need to flesh out more of the magic system through her classes at this magic school that she's attending. I also need to dig a bit deeper into my supporting characters. I realize that I've created a lot of these characters, and I need to basically create a key where I list all my characters, their descriptions, a few mannerisms, so I know like who they are, what their point of view is on the world. Because Control F to find a character's name, not the best method. It just being honest in the sense of like, you can totally read a book and understand, okay, the purpose of this chapter is this, they're doing this, they're fleshing out characters, they're building up the world, blah, blah, blah. But you can still sort of get like overwhelmed and caught up. I come from writing film scripts, and each scene has a purpose, but it's all dialogue and action. Versus with a book, you are dealing with everything. You are the actors, you are the set design. Basically, the learning lesson of all of this is I feel like as much as we have word count goals that we want to achieve, sometimes slowing down is better. And I'm kind of glad I did that this week. And yes, I rewrote the scene like 3 or 4 times, but now when I return to it tomorrow, I'm definitely going to read it again, but try to read it more from an outsider's perspective and be like, do I know who this Marrow is that my main character is talking to? I feel like I focused more on Westra's dialogue yesterday, and also more about how much information I wanted to give, and is this sort of the right moment to do it? But I do know that I need to move on, because there's probably way too much overthinking that happened, and maybe in the actual editing process, that will all change. Anyways, if you like A Guitar as much as I do, I am totally going to represent my friend because she makes amazing merch. This sweatshirt The moment she put it out, I had to have it. It's in black and white. Valaris, the city of starlight. And then we have Feyre's tattoo. This is her first one from the first book. And then on the back is the bond tattoo that she makes with Rhys, which is really exciting. So I'll put her link in the description. I really hope that me and Becca finish this maybe by like Tuesday. We've been going through it really fast. I am not sure when I'm gonna get to this. I think I might get to it after Crescent City next year, but I had to own it. I had to make sure I had it. It is in paperback, by the way, so if you have the Priory of the Orange Tree and you want them to match, which was another discussion in my Discord, tell me how you feel. Do you prefer hardbacks or paperbacks? I prefer specifically floppy paperbacks. Y'all, this book, it's not floppy. It's a little floppier now that I have like broken it in, as you can see from reading. But when I first read it, it was just like, it was like this. Thanks for hanging out for my first coffee chats. Let me know if you like these videos. I'm definitely gonna keep making them. Hopefully feeling less awkward that I do not have a script. So let me know down in the comments below what you're currently reading right now, maybe what's coming up on your TBR. Are you gonna do maybe some like cute romances for the holidays or specifically themed holiday books? Do you like annotating? Are you afraid to write in a book like I am? I definitely am, but I'm gonna do it for my friend's book, maybe. I might just use index cards. I am gonna underline and highlight though, which I haven't done before, so that will be scary and liberating. And let me know if you're currently writing a book and how that situation's going for you. It's a journey and I'm loving figuring out the puzzle and learning something new. And it really excites me because for so long, I was telling my boyfriend this, like I did acting for almost 10 years and that is not a solo art activity. You definitely have to do it with another person. And I'm like, oh God, if I was like a musician, I could sing, I could practice my art on my own. So it's nice now that I do have a solitary art activity to do by myself. You don't always have someone you can work on your craft with. And so when you are able to just kind of disappear into your own world and do that, it is really exciting. I do have a collaborative art form. I play Dungeons and Dragons, which is what my whole boyfriend's D&D channel is. We do actual plays on there. It's a lot of fun. So if you like D&D, I'll have a link for that in the description below. Definitely check it out. We have a few campaigns on there. We're working on our next one. Just your all-around fantasy nerd here.